It is the dream of the challenger to become champion, the crowning achievement in a lifetime of yearning. It is the dream of the champion to aspire to excellence, his legacy indelibly etched in the annals of time. Shawn Michaels, the confident challenger, a maverick who spits in the face of adversity. Bret Hart, a triumph in tenacity, the mighty ring general who stands in defiance of defeat. Tonight, for one illustrious hour in the Iron Man match, we will witness their passion, applaud their heroics, marvel at their gift to enthrall. Two craftsmen engaged in an extraordinary athletic event, two men bound by the dream. After 60 grueling minutes, one man, exhausted, will have his arm raised high, the quest realized, the challenge overcome. One man, expended, will breathe loneliness. Unwilling to surrender, he will have been stripped of the dream.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the John and Ann Show. John here.
And this is Ann.
Wow, I love that Linda McMahon music.
It's pretty catchy. Absolutely. Okay. I also like the helicopter going around.
You know, that was the greatest part of that whole thing, the helicopter.
The helicopter going around the Wrestlemania logo, which looks suspiciously like the Fox logo they used to have for the films. But yeah, that was the point. That was they were trying to get that in there. So
we don't get promos like we do back in the day. Let me tell you, it's been
in terms of the build-up.
Yeah,
you know?
build-up wise, that was impressive. I like that whole build-up.
Usually, the build-up is usually the same. It's usually just a montage of these other guys, montage of their promos, and then some generic rock or rap song playing in the background. Some are good. There's still some that are good. One that comes to mind was, let's see. Well, the past we had a montage of Rock and Cena not too long ago.
Yeah, we did.
Which is pretty good. But again, you don't just.
You can make a movie out of that now.
Of what?
Rock and Cena.
Yeah.
You can make a movie out of it now.
The sequel to Once in a Lifetime.
Yes.
But yeah, no, you're right. They don't have promos like that anymore because I guess that's just seen as old fashioned now.
Oh, definitely.
The only thing that they have that somewhat resembles that was the way they start off the shows now.
Yep, definitely.
And even that's pretty, well, it's reaching. It doesn't really work, but, you know, whatever. At least they're trying to do something that seems kind of retro.
Now, we discussed SmackDown and all that kind of stuff yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Quick stuff about wrestlers being all over the place in New Jersey. Caitlyn was spotted at the Garden State Plaza.
Yeah.
Out of all places, as Del Rio was spotted in the Empire State Building.
For some reason, I just got an image of him on top of the Empire State Building.
Well, there is an image of him on the Empire State Building.
I mean, like swatting planes and stuff.
Oh,
no, Caitlyn, we probably should have guessed that she'd be in the Garden State Plaza because it is an attraction.
Yes.
It is one of the more famous places here in New Jersey. Besides, well, I don't know. But it's definitely somewhere where famous people do make appearances every now and then. She had a pretty interesting thing, you know, where she had left some hints and stuff as to where she was going to be. You know, I think she gave away 2 WrestleMania tickets or something.
4.
4, okay.
Well, 2. One of them was for whoever got there first.
And obviously the store she was in was Hot Topic.
Yep.
She would be in Hot Topic. She does seem like the type of person. That's not a knock on Hot Topic.
Oh,
she just seems like somebody who would shop at Hot
She seems
Topic.
like the woman who would go to Hot Topic. But there's Del Rio on top of the World Trade Center, not World Trade Center, Empire State Building.
Uh-huh.
And he's holding the title.
Yep.
Happily, and he seems pretty fun in those pictures there.
Yeah, he does.
He seems pretty fine.
He might have had to put his arm up slowly to get his arms up that high.
After those marks, Zeb Coulter.
Those lashes.
Oof. I blame Zeb Coulter for that, but that was awesome anyway. A lot of stuff going on for WWE today.
Uh-huh.
The entire WWE crew is currently in New York and New Jersey for WrestleMania 29 week. Today will feature the military meet and greet reception for New York National Guard, first responders to 9/11 and Hurricane Sandy, at the Lexington Avenue Armory. Also today, several WWE superstars will visit kids at New York Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital in New York City, as well as Hackensack University Medical Center as well.
I see. All right.
So, which is pretty cool for them, and also Morristown Medical Center, which is pretty cool. So, whoever is there, get to meet WWE superstars. Injure me, punch me in the face, do something, throw me down some stairs. Want to meet John Cena?
Yeah, so do I. I have a box of Cocoa Pebbles that I still need to open up. So maybe I'm the grand prize winner. And I get to meet him, get a shirt.
So this just came in now. Reported times booked for WWE's WrestleMania 29 matches and segments. This just came out now.
What is this?
Reported times booked for WWE's WrestleMania 29 matches. Like how much
how long they're gonna be?
Well,
interesting. Let's see this.
Chris Jericho and Fandango have been given 10 minutes.
All right.
Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E Butt Cheeks, 12 to 15 minutes.
All right.
Ryback versus Mark Henry, 12 minutes. The Shield versus the Super Friends, 15 minutes. CM Punk versus The Undertaker, 20. Jack Swagger versus Del Rio, 15. Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, 20 to 30. The Rock versus Cena, 20 to 30. You alright?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the Triple H Brock Lesnar match going 30 minutes.
Diddy's musical performance, 8 minutes.
Oh, goodness.
The Hall of Famers coming out to wave to the fans, 7 minutes. The National Anthem, 7 minutes. And other assorted segments throughout the show, 10 minutes.
So Diddy's going to be 8.
Yep.
Okay, good. So I have my 8-minute bathroom break.
Yes.
There it is.
There's your 8-minute bathroom break.
There's my 8-minute piss break. Because, I hate that type of music.
For once we had a news break on the show. I love it.
Mm.
More of that should happen.
Although, yeah, you know what though? I mean, that could easily be estimated though.
Oh, definitely.
Somebody is probably just guessing.
Remember, I'm telling you about that Fandango thing. It's 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He could have like a 5-minute entrance. Chris Jericho comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Codebreaker match over.
No, that's always a possibility. It's always a possibility. That's why I'm saying that these are purely speculation. Somebody probably just pulled them out of their ass.
Most likely.
And because I mean, come on, WWE's not going to release the time.
Yeah, right. It's kind of weird.
It's a stupid thing to do, and but again, those make sense. I mean, who didn't expect CM Punk Undertaker to go 20 minutes?
I think it's going to go more than that.
Obviously, of course, Cena and Rock are going to go between 20 and 30 minutes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically, your 3 main events are going to be more than 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes, I should say.
Oh, I agree.
All right. World Heavyweight, it's not as important now as it used to be, I guess.
Which sucks.
So, obviously, it could go a little under 20 minutes. Tag matches for the title, that makes sense. 12 minutes, you said, right? This could be guesses for all we know. They sound like legitimate guesses.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I'm not saying this is whoever guessed this is an idiot, but no, nothing really special. But that is pretty cool that someone tried to put that out there. But again, I just don't see. It's not a big deal getting that.
Okay, I understand. WWE responds to Paul Bearer's sons objecting to the Raw angle, as they said didn't one of the sons tweet something.
Let's start from the beginning. The first comment we got from one of Paul Bearer's sons, Michael, I believe it was.
Okay.
He tweeted something along the lines of, "For those wondering, yes, WWE approached us. We gave approval for the segment. On paper, it looked fine, but seeing it done was completely different. I don't even know what to say." And then, what do you call it? The other son, I believe, responded totally different. So both of them were on the same page.
Yes.
Then later on in the day, I see in the dirt sheets that Paul Bearer's sons were okay with it.
Okay.
And now we're getting what?
A text from Michael Moody to the WWE. "Hey, I woke up in time to watch the tail end of the show. What you explained what would happen happened, which is fine. Just it was a little difficult to watch it play out. I put a message on Facebook last night saying that we approved it, but it wasn't what I envisioned. That I didn't have anything to say. Well, I woke up this morning and that I quote is being used all over media outlets. For the record, I was fine with it. Was hard to watch, but we're all professionals and I trust."
Mm-hmm.
okay, enough about they okayed it. I kind of laughed. I'm being honest. I saw Paul Heyman dressed up as Paul Bearer. I cracked up laughing.
That's not the question, though. The question is, was the family laughing? Obviously not.
Obviously not.
As a fan, we understand the difference. We know that Paul Bearer it's not a real person. The real person is William Moody. But again, it's still that when they see Paul Bearer, they see their father anyway.
Yes,
that's what they see. And I just got to believe that at this point, the sons of Paul Bearer are just trying to get out of the spotlight now. Because what they did when they signed off on WWE was basically let WWE do whatever they wanted. Mm-hmm. Because you know what? You give them the okay, WWE is going to push the envelope when they get the chance. Because their creative can't come up with anything. So they're going to push the envelope. They did. Some people didn't like it. Some didn't care. Some people actually did like it for storyline purposes. But I gotta believe when they put that out there, when Michael tweeted that, it might have been a heat of the moment thing.
I think so.
He was in a little bit of shock of what happened. He puts that out there. It gets big because it is a big deal.
It is, definitely.
And now he's trying to, he's trying to rescind that by saying, we did okay. We just, it was hard to watch. Right?
Okay.
Again, of course, it's going to be hard to watch. But, you got to expect that. When you put out a tweet like that on something that ended a show concerning, your father, of course it's going to get covered.
Yeah.
And at this point, I just think they don't want the fame right now. But, it's a little too late. The tweet's out there. Everybody knows that they had something to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on from here. Well, not really, because as we all know, Taker's winning at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So, take that for the word. Because, like I said, they're not going to totally make fun of Paul Bearer. They're not going to mock his death and then have The Undertaker lose.
Yes.
It's not the same thing as, let's say,
well, a lot of
the Screwjob storyline where Canada was crapped on by Shawn Michaels and then Bret Hart still lost.
But
this is a completely different thing. It's one person. It's a real person's death. They're not going to do that to Paul Bearer and The Undertaker.
How Punk is the true heel right now. Mm-hmm. It would be interesting if he does beat him. What does that accomplish?
What, between Punk and The Undertaker?
Yeah, what does that accomplish? Punk beat him. Now here's what I think. If he does beat him, this puts him as probably one of the top heels of all time.
It absolutely would.
Him beating what he's done, and him beating the record, I think that puts him up there with one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have to continue this.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah. If that happens, I am going to be upset. I love Punk and I love Undertaker. Mm-hmm. It's just I do not want to be there the day Undertaker goes 20-1.
Mm-hmm. And see, I would like to joke around that, hey, will it be there for the riot? But let's be honest. Smarks don't have any balls.
I know.
They're not going to riot.
Damn Smarks.
They're just going to sit in their seats, cry about it, and then complain about it on Facebook or whatever medium they use to complain about wrestling.
Yep.
That's all they're going to do.
As we try to tell you the truth about wrestling. We may be Smarks ourselves, but we know what we're talking about. As in, someone mentioned Kenny King. Well, what did he say?
Oh, well, someone comment. We'll comment back to him because for all we know, he might not hear this. But
you never know.
He said something along the lines of, "Oh, you guys are dissing Kenny King. You just want him to be another spot monkey."
No, we never said. We're not pretty much saying spot monkey.
And then he said clueless. Well, no. See, we're not clueless because we've been watching his matches in TNA. John here has watched his matches in ROH.
It's so much better in ROH.
Apparently they seem to be much better in ROH, and I'm gonna look into that as well. But it seems to be like a night and day type thing where Kenny King just seems to. I don't know if he's half-assing it in TNA.
I don't know.
Or if TNA is holding him back. I just don't see it as TNA holding him back because they're the company right now that's letting their wrestlers do these.
And he's botched a few times so far.
He botches and then. Here's what happened. He doesn't do any risk taking, and then when he does, he botches.
Yes.
Or it doesn't look impressive.
It's amazing.
So yeah, we are dissing him because as of right now in TNA, we've yet to see him do anything impressive.
Nothing. Oh, he has the TNA.
He hasn't had any
title.
good matches, and
do.
And you know what? The triple threat thing with the X Division right now, you have to have that with Kenny King because all of Kenny King's matches are carried by the other person. And you can't have that happen to the champion. So you got to distract the viewer, and say, oh, okay, well, there's 3 guys in here. Kenny King's defending against 2 guys. That looks much more impressive than watching a one-on-one match and saying to yourself, Kenny King he's just there while the other guy is doing the X Division maneuvers, risk taking, all that stuff. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Kenny King doesn't belong in the X Division.
No, absolutely not. And it's not like I said, we're not dissing him, and you calling us clueless means nothing.
No, I am. We are. We're telling. Well, if you want to call it dissing, fine. But it's telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it.
Because we will acknowledge that Kenny does have the talent in him.
Oh, he does. He has talent. It's there.
It's just
that him. Pretty much, if we said, "Oh, he sucks," and not know what we're talking about, okay, that's fine.
Hmm.
You know, but I've watched him in ROH, I've watched him in TNA, and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
He was so much better as a tag team in ROH. He should have stayed in ROH instead of going to this stupid company TNA because you know what they're going to do with him. Pretty much kill his character. I don't
know. I don't know how much I can blame TNA for it. TNA's not the one making his matches boring. At least I don't think. Because I mean, come on, look at the guys he's working with.
I know.
We saw that triple threat with Sanjay Dutt.
They got one coming up
with Zima Ion. We've seen him compete with Christian York was there at one point. But mainly the match with Zima Ion and Sanjay Dutt, where they were the ones doing all the moves.
Yeah.
And what was Kenny King there for? To make the pin.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Those are his matches right now.
So, like I said, we're not crushing on Kenny King. We're not throwing him. We're not throwing him under the dirt. We're not burying him. We're just saying he was much better in ROH.
I am because he's boring. Oh my God, the X Division sucks.
It does suck.
It sucks so hard.
I mean, you guys want to talk? You think if you guys think the X Division is good right now, what the hell are you smoking? Because I could go.
You know what I said? I said what X Division? There is no X Division.
There used to be an X Division.
There's like 2 people in the X Division.
There used to be an X Division.
There used to be. Oh, of course there used to be.
I can.
There are some prospects though.
There are
prospects coming through the gut check.
But you know what's funny? Nothing will beat the X Division they had when they had AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, all of them. Nothing will beat that. Petey Williams, Sanjay Dutt. There was a time where the X Division meant something. Now it means crap.
Well, I feel like again they had to change the rules a bit because they have a crappy champion.
Yeah.
You know, who can't work one-on-one matches and make them exciting.
They have to put triple threat.
So they gotta make a triple threat now. They gotta put in a weight limit and all that stuff.
So that
a division that used to be about no limits is now limited.
Limited. Unbelievable.
Well, because they have a limited champion.
Yep.
So
figure. Like I said, we're not trying to bury the guy. We just want him to show his talents. What did he do in ROH? That's it. Nothing bad about that. So that's Kenny King for you. If you have any more, if you have any more stuff,
and
please
again,
say.
you can't.
Please comment.
And it's not even about necessarily his character. It's about the matches themselves. Let's look at other guys who have come in from ROH. So let's look at Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like his gimmick? It depends. It depends. It is the generic international star who hates who rags on America.
He can speak.
But his matches are still great.
Exactly.
He works great with so many guys. I've seen him work great with. I mean, come on. I saw him work a great match with Sin Cara, and then a couple weeks later, a great match with Kane. This is showing me that he can have an awesome match with anybody out there. I've seen him have great matches with Randy Orton. This guy can work with anybody, literally. And I'm saying to myself, well, this guy is doing this. He was great in ROH, and he's still great in the WWE. Whereas you have someone like Kenny King, who was great in ROH, but in TNA, I don't know what the deal is.
So WWE is stealing our ideas once again.
And what are they doing?
There are talks this past week of adding AJ Lee and Caitlyn to the WWE Tag Team title match at WrestleMania 29, putting all the titles on the line.
You mean adding them to the tag team match with the winner take all thing, right?
Yep. Okay. What douchebags?
Well, no, this is good
good
because we have good ideas and we want the WWE to listen and take note of them. But we'd like to be paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Douchebags. I mean, come on. You're gonna steal our ideas? If we said it on air.
And we won't ever have to refer to dead people to make a good storyline.
Yes, that too.
Or heart attacks.
Oh, wow! I didn't know you were gonna go there.
Oh, please. I still don't understand why people find the heart attack one more offensive than the dead one.
Yeah,
Jerry Lawler himself signed off on that.
I know.
What's done is done.
Nah, he sucks now anyway.
And then you have... It's a completely different situation because Paul Bear's dead. His sons signed off on it.
Yep.
They did it, and now they don't really even approve of it. They weren't cool with it. So.
Do we have an Ant-Man disapprove face?
I think. Well, yeah, we do.
All right. I obviously that Hall of Fame is Saturday night at Madison Square Garden, and Vince McMahon is going to be inducted in Donald Trump.
Yeah. I mean, who else would really induct him, right?
Quick, Bruno Sammartino's inducted by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Trish Stratus by Stephanie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That's interesting because you would think that it would have been another diva out there.
Lita. I thought Lita right away.
But, I do understand if Lita was approached, I can understand her turning it down.
I know why.
This may come as a shocker, but I actually was never really that impressed with Trish Stratus's ring work.
Yep.
I've made that clear. I do believe that she was pushed because of her look. And, I would easily put quite a few wrestlers ahead of her in terms of in-ring work. I always thought that Gail Kim was miles ahead of her in terms of in-ring work. Even Tara, Victoria in her prime, was better. Lita took more risks.
She did.
And, as a result, they paid off. I liked Lita's matches more than I liked Trish's matches.
I agree.
And I would even put Molly Holly. She was very good.
Yeah,
she was a very good technical wrestler.
You know why? Because once they shaved her bald, it was like, who cares?
Yeah, that's all anyone focused on.
Yeah.
And that was upsetting. But if you look at her in-ring work, she's great. She's great.
Even Ivory had talent, too.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's one. That's another. Divas division will never be the same, just like the X division.
Yeah. And again, this isn't necessarily taken away from Trish. I'm just saying that when WWE says she's the greatest diva of all time, okay, well, maybe in terms of, I don't even know what terms you're talking about, because she certainly didn't have the best matches.
No, yeah.
She did have great matches.
She did have great matches.
Like you said, she did main event with Lita at one point on Raw. That's monumental. Probably will never happen again.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did have the Bella Twins and
I know, right?
main event. So never mind. But no, does she deserve?
Does
she deserve the Hall of Fame? Does she deserve the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Because even though she wasn't the best in-ring work, even though she wasn't the best wrestler, she was very good in terms of just all around a performer, and you got to give her credit for that. Absolutely.
I still got that WrestleMania theme stuck in my head. The Linda McMahon.
All right, moving on. Let's go on. Let's keep going.
I'm losing it. It's so catchy. They should bring it back.
Well, Linda McMahon has to come back.
Yeah, that's true. When I was stupid, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home.
I hate that song. I hated it when they brought Carmelo Anthony back to the Knicks. I hate it now.
I actually took a listen to the whole song.
It's a stupid song.
Why it's a stupid song.
It's a stupid song.
Now I know why they only used the I'm coming home.
Because it's a piece of crap song.
Because it's a piece of crap. Wow. So, we are 4 days away
to
WrestleMania. I'm going to hit you with 15 burning questions.
Let's
hear it. Ready? You ready?
For WrestleMania?
Yes, for WrestleMania 29. How will the debuting stars perform? As we got Fandango, Big E Langston. Who else is a newcomer to WrestleMania? I think that's it, right? Only two?
Well, those are the two big ones that have been mentioned.
Damian Sandow.
Right. Okay. The Funkadactyls.
The Shield.
Mm-hmm.
How will they? How do you think they'll debut?
The Shield will do well as they have done in every match they've been a part of.
Okay.
Okay. They'll do just fine. Damian Sandow, I see him the same as I see him on any other show. I don't think he's going to pull out anything spectacular, but he is entertaining enough. I hope we get a promo from him before the match. about being at WrestleMania.
Okay.
That could be gold. Again, Funkadactyls, same thing. I think they'll just be the same as they are on main event.
Yep.
No big deal. Who else was on that list? All right, Biggie Langston. Biggie Langston's going to dominate the match.
I think so.
He's going to dominate because seeing as how they've built him as this power character. This is going to be his first match. They've had him run through people, show his power. So I feel like he's going to dominate the match. Ziggler and Biggie Langston are going to dominate the match.
First WrestleMania.
Yeah. So basically, Biggie and Dolph will dominate the match, and AJ if she's a part of it.
Yep. AJ's WrestleMania as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was there as a valet, but we don't know if she's going to be a valet again or if she's actually going to compete this time. We'll see what happens. In terms of Fandango, that's probably the one I'll keep my eye on the most.
Okay.
Because I feel like I have a good idea of what Biggie Langston's going to look like in the ring.
Oh, of course. Everyone knows.
Yeah. If Fandango versus Chris Jericho, it'll probably be a good match. It'll be watchable. Watchable. I don't think it'll be quick, like you said.
I think it's gonna be quick.
I don't think they're gonna bury Fandango the way some people think would be funny, but I do think Jericho might end up winning.
There has to be a 10-second match somewhere.
Just because Jericho, well, he lost last year at WrestleMania. I know, tapped out to CM Punk. I don't know, but Jericho's finally been winning though. We've been ragging on Jericho for weeks about how he loses to everybody. He's been winning, and I think the new talent will do well. I
hope so.
I really do think they'll do well.
Except for Fandango.
The WWE needs them to do well.
No, because, not Fandango.
No, him too. Everybody.
Not him.
Yes, everybody. You can hate who you want, but they need him to do well
because
the WWE has quite a number of superstars.
But
leaving.
Like I understand I hate Fandango, but I still don't get the chance you can't wrestle. What the heck, man? You haven't even seen him wrestle yet.
No. It was funny.
Don't get it.
It might have been funny the first time. Now it's just they don't know what that chant really means.
Yeah.
It's what was I gonna say? Like I said, a lot of wrestlers are on their way out.
Yeah.
You know.
Lesnar being one of them. Hopefully not Lesnar, but hopefully he sticks around for a bit till Extreme Rules or Payback.
Well, I was more along the lines of wrestlers who are getting up there age-wise.
Oh yes.
You know, Triple H won't be around forever. Undertaker certainly. It was a question mark if he was going to be around. He won't be around there forever. Chris Jericho won't be there forever.
There was an interesting. Someone commented about a good, like something I wouldn't see happening. HBK costing Triple H the match.
Now, why would he do that?
Well, just by accident. You know, he's gonna help Lesnar. He's gonna help Triple H.
And are you hoping that this leads to both Triple H and Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement and going? What?
It'd be an unsanctioned fight.
Oh well, that makes everything better.
Yes, it does. But it kind of makes sense because if you go back, let's see, when Shawn Michaels retired that night, he had that whole speech. Triple H came out and said, "There's one thing I still haven't done. Probably would want to face him one-on-one again. So maybe for that to happen, have HBK cost him the match against Lesnar, and you have your match at WrestleMania 30. Trust me, Shawn Michaels looks bored.
He looks bored?
He looked kind of funny with those rain boots on.
I think he just
those ridiculous rain boots.
To me, he just looks relaxed.
He does look relaxed.
He looks more relaxed. He seems.
It would be a good way to end everything. The end of an era wasn't really ending it. You want the two main guys to end it, which is Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Okay.
I'd like to see that, to be honest. I'd rather see that than Punk and Austin.
I'm just trying to get. All right.
I'd rather see that than Punk and Austin.
All right. Well, like you said, I really don't even care if I ever get to see Austin.
Exactly.
I think that's I don't care for that. But
like I said,
Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
It was interesting that someone came up with that idea, and it's actually a pretty good one.
I really don't think Shawn Michaels is coming out of retirement. I just don't see it happening.
It'd be a good twist, though.
It'd be hilarious if both of them are retired at WrestleMania, and then they have a WrestleMania match. Come out of retirement for a WrestleMania match.
Will weather be a factor?
I was about to say something else about this, but I forgot. Whether it be a factor. I don't. It would be funny if it was.
Yeah, right? All of a sudden, it's a blizzard at WrestleMania!
It would be really funny if it was. It will be obviously very chilly. It could be a factor in the sense that will the wrestlers be able to perform
Yeah.
to the full potential?
That's true.
Because if it gets cold out,
yeah.
because look, it's gonna be what, 50 degrees?
Yep.
All right.
50 degrees.
WrestleMania goes into nighttime.
Yep.
So it's not like it's gonna stay 50 degrees. That temperature's gonna go down eventually. And right now, it's cold outside.
It's very cold.
I'm wearing a thick jacket. I wore a thick jacket to walk over here, and
I was freezing.
I don't know how somebody like Randy Orton is gonna come out.
Yeah, right.
Randy Orton, Shield will be fine.
Oh yeah, they're
the Shield will be fine. They're just come out winter coats.
I do have my app, my weather app, and I think it's like in the 30s right now.
Okay.
Pretty let's get that confirmed right now. It's 34 degrees right now, and as I go to the 10-day forecast, this is what it's supposed to be for Sunday. 52 degrees, low 48.
Okay. Well, 48, low 48. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. That is not too bad. So maybe, hopefully, the weather will hold up. You know, it won't be that cold. So, does CM Punk have a real shot at beating Undertaker?
Next question. No.
Wow, that was quick. Will Randy Orton turn heel?
Oh my goodness. I am sick of being asked this question. I'm sick of seeing the rumors online. I'm sick of everything that concerns Randy Orton going heel. When it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
You're saying is he gonna go heel at WrestleMania?
But he's still gonna get cheered.
Yeah, he's gonna get cheered.
You know, it doesn't matter what you do with him.
If he gets, I don't see why he would turn heel.
I know. I don't know. I don't get it. The big question: does Dolph Ziggler cash at WrestleMania?
All right. Well, like I said, this depends heavily on when the tag team matches
Yes.
and what happens.
It's his time now. And the contract he won expires July 15th.
Okay. Well, this is a tough one because I feel like they wouldn't do it because they don't want anything to take away from Roxana. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
either way, the one that he has to cash it in on is Del Rio and Swagger.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know if he... That is a burning question.
I say no.
I don't think so either.
It
would be nice because
I'm really going with a hard no here. Like, I don't see it happening. A lot of people want to see it, but I think... I want Swagger to win the title. Just the way things are going right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I will reveal one of my picks. It is Swagger. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I'm going with a hard no, like 100% confident he is not cashing in.
Okay.
But if he cashes in, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it. How will injuries affect Punk and Undertaker?
I think they'll still have a good match.
I think they're going full out.
No, I think they'll go full out, but they'll only be able to pull out a good match.
Okay.
Again, we're not going to have that good a perspective because we will be with the crowd. We'll be hearing everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see this, let's say on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever. But I believe it'll be at least a good match.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be bad. Because I figured this is going to be later on in the card. I haven't really seen much of either of them to give me an idea of how they are in the ring. Like Punk hasn't wrestled since the Kane match.
Yeah, and that's where he hurt his arm at.
Yeah, and Undertaker, we've seen him throw some punches and get beat up last week, but that was about it. But yeah, I think it'll be at least good.
Okay.
I don't think it will be bad.
I think it could be better than Triple H and Undertaker, the second one, not the Hell in a Cell one, the second one.
Yeah, the WrestleMania 27 one.
Yes, I think that could be. I think that could be better than that. I do want it to be great, though. Don't get me wrong.
No, I would love it to be great. We're going. We want to see a great match. You know?
What championships will change hands?
All right. Let's see here.
I got one.
Well, we got the WWE title. That's changing hands, right? Absolutely.
I don't know.
I want it to change.
I don't want it to change.
I want it to. I don't care. I said that John Cena.
I got
this is John
two. I got
year.
two title changes. I got two.
Okay.
The tag team titles and the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's sad.
I know, and that's on the pre-show.
Well, good. That's where it belongs. If you have to have The Miz on WrestleMania, keep it on the pre-show. Have you noticed The Miz's decline in WrestleMania? Main event in 27. Down to a storyline where he wasn't even on WrestleMania until the last day, and then he gets the pin in the Teddy Long John Laurinaitis match. Then he goes down to the pre-show.
Pre-show.
Keep him there. Very good WWE. You seem to have learned your lesson.
Yes. Listening to us for once.
You figured out where The Miz belongs.
Yes.
The next step.
Send him home.
One gripe that I have is that the Intercontinental Championship is on the line.
Yes.
And it's the white strap one.
Yeah.
Miz has no business holding that title.
Absolutely not.
Okay? So basically, like I said, you had a main event for 27. That was stupid, and he paid the price for it. You had him in the John Laurinaitis Teddy Long match. Okay, I could deal with that.
That's fine.
This year you have him on the pre-show for the Intercontinental Championship. Again, shouldn't have put the title there, but whatever. So that means WrestleMania 30, Miz should just go home. Just stay home.
Stay home.
Watch WrestleMania there. Why?
Yes.
Why even at the stadium? Why?
Yeah, you should go to Access as a fan.
Yeah, right? And don't worry, you don't have to worry about taking a picture with anyone. No one's going to want a picture anyway.
Exactly. Is this Triple H's last match?
All right. The thing about Triple H is that I don't think he has the integrity Shawn Michaels has. So if Triple H is put in a retirement match and he loses, I do believe you'll see him come back and wrestle again anyway.
Okay.
I do believe he's going to be like Ric Flair and just go back on that whole thing and then wrestle again even though he lost the retirement match.
That's interesting.
Okay. So if I don't know if this is Triple H's last match.
I say no. Unfortunately, I'm rooting for Brock in this one, but yeah, I don't think it's happening. Obviously, we talked about the time before about distributed on matches and stuff. What role will AJ Lee play in the tag team title match?
Well, first I will say that I don't think this will be Triple H's last match.
Okay. I don't think so either. I think he continues on.
What will AJ's role be in the tag match? Again, this depends on if she is officially added to
so
that.
We can't really.
They could possibly add her to it at WrestleMania.
Yep. So like I said, we can't really.
Can't really speculate, but as of right now, she's just a valet, and she's gonna get involved.
Of course.
The same distraction that she's been for the past few weeks.
What would the pre-show be like?
She could mess up.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know if it was you or Rob who said it, but she could interfere. I think it was Rob actually, where the running gag becomes that she is like a bad luck charm to whoever she manages.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So that could be
good point there, Rob. As I give you credit, jerk. What will the pre-show be like?
Well, The Miz is in it, so it won't be impressive.
Sucks.
But Ray Barrett is in it, so maybe it will. There's something we can watch.
Out of all the matches that we've discussed, what match will be the granddaddy of them all? Which will steal the show? What will be that we remember this night?
I think that whether or not Punk and Undertaker have a good match, that will be what's talked about.
I think Brock and Triple H.
You think so?
It's gonna be a fight.
Okay.
It's gonna be a borderline fight. And I see bloodshed.
Okay.
I don't want to say bones broken, but maybe a couple of bruises.
People broken in half.
Yes, people broken in half.
Like Jim Ross.
Yes.
Jim Ross always says that.
I see this being a brutal match.
It could be. The problem with these matches though is they could get dry quickly. They just turn into punches and knees to the gut or whatever.
But that too, Punk and Undertaker could steal the show.
But what I'm saying though is that both of these guys have had good brawling matches in the past.
They definitely have.
So I would like to see there will be weapons used.
Oh, definitely. Is this when Team Hell No finally breaks up?
I don't think they'll break up.
I think they're retaining.
You think they're retaining?
I think they're retaining.
I thought you were picking the tag titles to be changed.
But I like to see that, yes, but, you know, if you're going by what AJ, you know, if she's the bad luck charm by what Rob's saying, you gotta go with the Team Hell No.
Yeah, exactly.
Will the predictable hurt, like, you know how this event is so predictable? Will this hurt the event?
The predictability?
Yep.
I think you want me to be honest? I don't think the predictability will ruin WrestleMania while you're there.
I think it's very predictable.
No, it's absolutely predictable.
Which sucks.
It's absolutely predictable.
It's not like March Madness. Anything could happen where you have a ranked 15 upset. You know, this is storyline.
I still think people will have a good time there.
Oh, of course.
They will still have a good time. They'll have a good experience. Except for, save it for a few people who just rag on everything.
Yep. Smart.
You do have those people who go to every WrestleMania, and they will probably, just start bashing this WrestleMania before the national anthem is even sung.
This sucks.
Before, right?
Dude, didn't even start yet. Relax. This sucks.
I mean, just, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Look.
I'm giving it a shot.
Let's be honest. A lot of times, this isn't the first time where you're able to predict the outcomes of WrestleMania. I predicted every match except for Roxina last year.
Yes, you did.
I could have said, it was predictable. No, I had a good time watching it anyway.
You won money, that's why you had fun
watching it. No. It was more than that.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So it was part of it. But part of it was the money. But still, it was enjoyable. Even though I figured most of the matches would end the way they did.
Which you picked Cena, and I did pick The Rock at one point.
Yeah. So, again, I do believe it's going to be still enjoyable. It still will be a good event to go to. That's as simple as that.
Now, the main question everybody wants to know, will it happen, will it not happen? Does WWE have a swerve in the works for John Cena?
They have to. Look, if you're going to have a predictable WrestleMania, the only way to fix that is to have a big swerve, somewhere in there.
I think so.
You have to have it.
I
gotta believe. See, you have these 3 main event matches between Undertaker, Punk, Triple H, Lesnar, Rock, Cena, all of which people are predicting the faces to win those matches.
Pretty much.
The faces and Rock, Cena winning. One of those matches has to end in a way we didn't expect. I don't think it's going to be Punk Undertaker. Because they're not going to have a storyline where Punk disrespects Paul Bearer, mocks him, and then wins anyway.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
No way.
Because, so it's got to be...
Would it be cool? Yes, it would be.
What, for Punk to go over Undertaker?
Of course. Why not?
Because we don't want to see it live.
Oh, no, we don't want to see it live. I understand that. But... would it be that would be actually like the first time someone has momentum and actually wins, where they have momentum and they lose, unlike certain people that has done that, has momentum, loses, then has momentum again, then loses again. We know who that is. That's Dolph Ziggler. And Chris Jericho.
But I feel like they won't do that because look, I believe they have these matches planned ahead of time. They know who's going to win or not. And the fact of the matter is they put CM Punk, they just threw him in a match with The Undertaker.
No, that's we've discussed that already. What I want to get to is...
But that's what I'm saying, though. They just threw him in a match, and they're not going to have someone who they just threw in a match with The Undertaker actually beat The Undertaker. It has to be a big
That's understandable. But they have a few ideas what they can run off now. Mm-hmm. You have things that are there that can work.
Like what?
And you have the Shield. You can make him join the Shield just like Hogan did with the NWO. Make him be the 4th guy.
For the Undertaker?
No.
That'd be pretty funny.
That would be kind of funny.
Hey, Shield's never attacked the Undertaker, so.
That is true. But make Cena say you're announcing a 4th guy, but they didn't announce it yet. make that a swerve.
Yeah.
You know, say he's the fourth guy. You know, make people wonder. You know, don't say it, but like, the Shield comes out at the end, you know, surrounds the ring, and people think, oh, he's going to attack Cena. They attack The Rock, and Cena has this big smile on his face. He's the fourth guy. Think of how many... I think he'll get cheered.
He will get cheered.
He'll get cheered
That's
instead
the
of
funny
booed.
thing. That's the funny thing.
The kids will boo.
Yeah.
The kids will boo. The adults
Well,
will
you
cheer.
know what? Honestly, I do believe that Rock has enough fans to counteract that. So it will. I think it would be like a mixed reaction.
Oh, it's going to be 90% Rock at Mania.
Yeah.
I see that happening already. Everyone else does. Like I said, I want to see a swerve at this Mania.
And I
don't
feel like
see a swerve.
if Cena does pull something like that off,
Maybe
it'll shave some of the percentage off The Rock's
Yes.
fans, because they will defect to Cena. Because a lot of people they just root for The Rock because they hate Cena.
Yes.
Simple as that. If they get a third option, which would be, Cena but heel this time,
Yeah.
they will probably defect to that for
Which,
a while anyway.
Like
Until
I said,
that gets stale too.
he was eating up the booze at Raw, so
Yeah.
you know, I can see this as a potential. I'm not saying it, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but a heel turn, I like to see it, I want to see it, everyone else wants to see it. No one's seen him heel since he did "You Can't See Me" and talked loud and did his rapper gimmick. That was perfect. Total heel. I loved it. Now you just get, this is John Cena. Go make a wish. Do this. Do that. Gets paid high money. That's it. And performs. I give the guy credit on what he does.
Yeah.
He hasn't done what The Rock has done. Leave for like 10 years and come back. No. He's committed to what he does and what he loves. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
It is.
But I think it's time to make the move. It is Hulk Hogan. This is Hulk Hogan all over again. You never thought Hulk Hogan would turn heel till one night in WCW, Bash at the Beach, ended up being the third guy. And he ended up being, we all know what happened. The NWO happened.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best factions ever to exist next to DX. Because you had 60 people coming out of the limo, and that was pretty much, okay, you can't do much.
Yeah.
Once you have 60 people coming out of a limo, it's like, okay, we're beat.
Honestly, it's been time for Cena to turn heel for a while, which is why I think they won't do it.
I say
If
yes.
they don't do it now, they're never doing it.
I'm never going to do it. But it's,
unless Cena, for some weird reason, stops drawing. Unless all the kids decide they hate John Cena.
Well, remember, at that time Hulk Hogan also got hated as well.
Okay.
But even as a face.
Mm-hmm.
So, people hate him now. And
But
people
again,
are showing it.
but
And they're
again-
showing it more now. I think that Raw pretty much showed how much people hate Cena.
But
He got booed in Washington out of all places.
They keep forgetting, though, that WCW is the one who turned Hogan heel.
They did
Not
that.
the WWF.
It
The
wasn't
WWF
WWE.
didn't have the balls to do it for Hogan.
No,
They still haven't had the balls to do it for Cena.
that is true.
And I gotta wonder, if Hogan had never left for WCW, would he have ever gone heel?
Oof. I never thought about that. Never thought about that. It never hit me. Like, if he stayed in WWF at the time and didn't go to WCW, how things were, and would we have an NWO? Would we have this faction?
Yeah.
I'd say if Scott Hall didn't jump ship or Kevin Nash didn't jump ship at the time, they would have stayed.
Right.
You know, you would have had the Click, and that would have been the version of the NWO. They would have been, that.
It could've-
And you had,
it
and you
could've
pretty
been that
much
set,
you
yeah.
had the pieces in place for the Click. You had the big guy, you had Razor, you had Diesel, you had Triple H, you had HBK, you had 1-2-3 Kid, you had all those people with different. You had the big guy, you had the mediocre guy, you had the short guy,
yeah, they
you had the
could've
short
done-
guy who's quick, you had the star, you had the assistant to the star. You know, it worked out.
Yeah.
You know, when Sam NWO happened, you had the big guy, you had Kevin Nash, you had Scott Hall, you had Hogan, then you had Ted DiBiase, the assistant, then you added Virgil for some odd reason. Virgil, wrestling
superstar.
Yes, but you kept adding more, Hugh Morrison, then Buff Bagwell, then Lex Luger, then Macho Man. who's the face now? Sting, and that's what we got. You got this Crow Sting. Now, we put this in with Cena. Okay, say he does join the Shield. We need this powerful baby face who's going to try to lead the charge to bring down the Shield. Out of this WWE roster, who do you see doing that?
Who would be the face to take? Who would be the face to go up against John Cena and the Shield?
First would be The Rock, of course, and then he gets defeated again. Yeah. So he's swept out of the way. He's swept into the ocean for now. Mm-hmm. Who is the next guy?
The next guy who would have to go up against John Cena and the Shield
as a heel and the Shield, because right now they'd be the NWO right now.
Yeah. Well,
as Cena being the Hogan, Roman Reigns being the Nash, Dean Ambrose being Scott Hall, and Seth Rollins being the Virgil of the group.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say who's who in the group.
Well, it's pretty much,
But I will say, I don't know.
I love Seth Rollins, but nothing mean to Seth Rollins, but he's pretty much the Virgil of the group. He got pinned, I don't know how many times.
It's got to be one of three people. If that were to happen, Randy Orton's always up there somewhere. Of course. Ryback supposedly had unfinished business with the Shield. Maybe this is a bit of a sidetrack thing, but he could very well just go right back. That's
another one. That's why I kept thinking Ryback.
For some reason, you have Sheamus.
For some odd reason, you have Sheamus.
You just keep putting out there. I'm not sure why, but
I like Ryback.
What I would like them to do actually is once that happens, have the first guy be the Miz, and then have Cena and the Shield absolutely destroy the Miz, kill the Miz off the same way they killed off Muhammad Hassan.
Oh my.
And then that'll just legitimize the Shield and John Cena. Well, actually it won't, because all they did was kill the Miz. But it'll give them something to build off of.
Okay.
So I think that would be a really good idea. Have John Cena and the Shield, kayfabe kill off the Miz, and then have one of those other top three baby faces go up against John Cena.
Wow. That's interesting.
Or you could actually look into NXT. Start building up a new.
Well, that's the other news we heard about them bringing up NXT.
Bring up Emma.
No.
Emma will distract.
No.
John Cena and the Shield with her dancing.
No.
No, seriously. She'll walk down the ramp as they're in the ring. She'll walk down the ramp. They'll have these what the hell look on their faces, and then the roster will attack them from behind.
I'd rather see Titus O'Neil.
No,
what? Okay.
Well, that's another one who could take it.
Oh God! Okay. Enough.
No. 3MB. The Rock.
Oh my God!
Titus O'Neil leading the 3MB against the Shield.
No.
That would be amazing.
That means you're turning the 3MB face.
Maybe that's what they need.
No, they don't.
That's what they need to start winning matches. They need to go face.
Where has this show gone? It was going so well.
John Cena and the Shield versus Titus O'Neil and the 3MB.
I hate you right now.
I think it's a good idea.
I hate you right now. I hate you.
Okay, well maybe it's kind of unrealistic. So we'll replace Titus O'Neil with The Rock.
There
you go.
The
Rock and the 3MB.
The Rock and the 3. Help me, God.
Oh come on! If The Rock can be paired up with Mick Foley, he can be paired up with 3MB. Come on, Rock had segments with a Hurricane, for goodness sakes.
Wow. Yeah, that's another one who I missed. The Hurricane.
That's a good idea.
No, 3MB, it's not.
3MB has been biding their time, and they will be the ones to take out the Shield.
Why do I have to deal with you on the show? I'm just kidding.
Because I
love you, man.
I love me too.
Obviously, we have the Mets playing San Diego, and we have the Yankees up against Boston again.
Mm-hmm.
Kuroda's on the mound tonight for your New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Do you expect a little bit more out of them tonight?
No, I expect more out of him than I got out of CC a couple nights ago. It's amazing how CC... I'm not going to judge CC on the first game of the year.
Oh, you can't.
You can't do that. You can't judge anybody on the first game of the year. Unless they go out there, get a season-ending injury. But,
wow.
What else do you judge them on then? But Sabathia, like I said, stank up the joint. He didn't show up. And Boston just put him in his place. A lackluster Boston team who has, 3 big names on it now? And you still lose to them? I mean, come on, CC. Get it together. And hurry up and get it together. Don't wait till May. Just do it now, okay? This goes for all the Yankees. They got to start hitting. But I'm not going to be completely, all over their hitting because of the fact that we do have some of our main stars out. Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, Granderson. That's a loss. It's a big loss. Teixeira, not too big a loss on the bat because what does he really do? On the field, he's phenomenal. He really is. We need Derek Jeter back. It's people say he's getting old, but you know what? He does bring that spark to the team. Did you see last year's playoffs? Once Derek Jeter got injured, how it looked like the Yankees team gave up.
Oh, it did.
It was unbelievable.
It did. Scary.
Unbelievable to see an entire team throw in the towel when their captain gets injured. The name of the game is for you to pick up where they left off. Back him up.
I know.
No, don't give up when he's gone. You just.
That's what it looked like. The
really
team
did.
just stopped playing.
I mean, you see these lazy attempts of defensive plays by, let's see, Robinson Cano. What do you? You've made these plays effortlessly the whole season.
I don't know. Like I said, a lot of teams came out flat-footed opening day. So just like
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they pick it up.
The Yankees have to pick it up.
How will the lineup change
in the division already against Boston, who's really not that good.
Again, it's a long season, but
it is a long season.
It's a divisional game. You want to win these.
Now, the Mets are obviously 1-0. Mm-hmm. Start off on a good note. John Neese, 6 2/3 innings on Monday. But now, a lot of people were calling the fan yesterday saying, "Oh, we have a World Series team." Hold on a minute. Okay, wait a minute, time out. I understand everyone likes Colin Cowgill. He was impressive, 2 for 5, hit a grand slam, couple of ribbies. Give the team time. This is not a World Series team yet. We're 1 game in, and you're going to say we're a World Series. I'm a diehard Met fan, but I would be realistic.
Yeah.
Now, we're 1 game in.
Both fan bases need to calm down.
Yes, relax. Relax. Matt Harvey's on the mound tonight.
Matt Harvey.
Yes, Matt Harvey. 3-5 last year, 2.73 ERA. Struck over 70 batters last year. Okay. For the small stint he had, that's pretty damn good. If you ask me,
it is.
He's up against Clay. Wait, give me a second.
Clayton Kershaw.
No, not Clayton Kershaw. What?
No, I'm just making it up.
What? Clayton Richards. You were close.
Ah.
You were close. I'll give you that. 7-10 first pitch. I like to see the Mets go off to a 2-0 start. I mean, I think they could sweep San Diego because San Diego's not that good of a team. I just want them to build more runs. 2 out hits are big.
Yeah.
When you have runners on first and second, you got to get those hits.
Absolutely.
I like to see more of Ike tonight. He had the 4 strikeouts on Monday, which is kind of disappointing. You got the golden sombrero, whatever you want to call it.
The golden sombrero.
So every time...
That's what, 4 strikeouts?
4 strikeouts, you got the Mexican hat dance. I dance, I dance, I dance.
The ultimate insult.
Yeah, pretty much so. And I think the Yankees are also on tonight at 7 or 7:10.
Sounds about right.
7:30. So I think, like I said, the Mets are off to a great start. Yankees, I think, have to step up.
Oh, they do.
They have to step up tonight. I think it would be not drastic, but an 0-2 start in a division, not good. Mm-hmm. Especially facing a divisional rival like Boston. Because Boston is a rival. You like to beat them, but do you have the team to beat them right now? You might get swept by them.
Nah, I don't see a sweep.
You don't see a sweep?
I don't see a sweep.
Oh, we'll see tonight. I think the Mets could sweep San Diego if everything goes right. So, I'm going to Access tomorrow. I have coverage for that on Friday. I am so pumped, man. You have no idea.
You should be.
I'm so pumped for Access.
Anyone involved with Wrestlemania in any way should be excited.
Excited for, I wish you guys could, come, but we had difficulties getting tickets and stuff. But there's more to do. Hopefully we'll do something on the weekend, which will, hopefully we'll go to one of the WrestleCons or live events, which I like to see. You got, like I said, also, instead of WrestleMania, you guys want to go to WrestleCon. It's cheaper. if you guys want to see an indie show, $25 to $30. That's all you got to spend. I'm not promoting the show. I'm not promoting the thing, but to meet Kurt Angle for $20, hell worth it.
Yeah, it's true.
Hell worth
Damn
it for
true.
$25 for an autograph and a photo. I'd go for it. Can't beat that with Kurt Angle. And Bret Hart's going to be there.
Exactly.
$20, $25. Except stay away from Ric Flair.
Hey, if he's even still going to be there. Though.
Well, that's true.
He may pull out due to his...
That's true. That is true due to his son passing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for today. We'll have Rob will be here tomorrow for NXT main event, I guess. Even though we pretty much covered that, but
yeah,
he watched it. Actually, it's tonight. My bad.
Well, I would imagine that main event is just going to be a match or two. And the rest of it being hyping Wrestlemania,
pretty much.
things like that.
So we'll have his picks for Mania tomorrow. Friday, I guess we'll reveal our big picks for Mania, and I'll have the full I'll have access coverage and stuff like that. So, wow, as we near 10 o'clock right now, we are 4 days away, man. It's
right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. I got out of work and I realized it's time. It's almost there. It's
Vader time.
It's Vader time. It's Vader time. Ah, man, Vader. Love him. At least he didn't pull out Powerbomb.
Powerbomb?
Powerbomb?
No, he just fell out of the ring. That's all he did.
And broke Yokozuna's foot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, they had the forklifts. I'm so happy you showed me that clip.
Yeah.
Powerbomb!
Powerbomb? Alright.
I think we're going to end the show like that. So, I'm John.
This is Ann.
Powerbomb!
Powerbomb?